Hey gang, Jane here. Welcome back to the Meadow Blossom Blanket series. This is the 5th and final video in this series where we'll finish up the join as you go method for hexagons and add a simple 2-round border to complete the blanket. If you missed parts 1 through 4, I'll link them below. In those, we went through color planning, layout, and how to join rows 1, 2, and 3. So you'll definitely want to start there since this video picks up right where we left off. When we wrapped up in part 4, you had finished row 3 and were set to repeat rows 2 and 3 until your blanket reached the size that you wanted. I stopped at row 9, so that's where we'll pick things up today, working across the final edge and then moving right into the border. I'll be using a 5mm crochet hook and my white yarn for my border, but of course you can choose any color that you'd like for the border section. If you prefer everything to be written out and have diagrams, the full 31-page PDF is available in my shop. So let's dive in and get this blanket finished. You'll be wrapping up in no time and ready to cozy up under your meadow blossom. So I've worked my way across row 9 and I've come back on the long edge. We're back here to this corner right here. So now all I have left is this, what I call the final edge, which is up basically the right-hand side of your blanket. So I'm going to rotate my work. And you can see that this edge of the blanket doesn't have anything worked into it yet. We're going to work up and then we're going to work into the row ends along here, just like we did on the other side when we came down. And it's going to take us right back up to the final corners. I've got 9 rows going on here, big blanket. And it's going to take us right back up here to where we started on row 1. So let's get started on that. We ended with this final single crochet on the long edge. We came down from this corner and did that 6 repeat to here. This is where we'll be starting working up our final edge. Chain 2, and that represents the corner. Single crochet in the next chain space and chain 1. We're going to do that 7 times and it'll take us up to here. So we should have 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, ending with a chain 1. And now we want to work a single crochet in this chain space at the join. This was A. This is where we came down and started the new row. So right there, we want to do a single crochet. Chain 1. Now we're moving on to the half hexagon and we're going to work this the same way as we worked on the half hexagons on the other side, working into the row ends. So we start with our first single crochet going into the end of row 7. So I just kind of pick a spot there at the end of row 7, work a single crochet, chain 1, then we're going to work evenly 12 more times, so you'll have a total of 13 single crochets, 12 more times across to the other end of row 7. This is where your last single crochet will go. I try to make them even so that this ends up being in the center. So I would have 6 on this side, then 1 here, and then 6 on this side. So let's just work our way across. You can just watch where I put them. I try to go into each of the row ends. But again, I only want 6 on this side of the center. So I'm going to show you here, it didn't work out for me. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I still have to get to here to get to the 7th one. So sometimes you have to try more than once to get this to work right. So I think what I did is because I went into this row end here, I should actually go into this white section next. So we're back to the first single crochet I've already done. Now I'm going to try to work so that I end up at that center at the right time. So let me check again. I want the 7th one to go in here, so I should have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sometimes it's trial and error to make it work properly. So my 7th one will go in here. And then using this as a guide, I'm going to work my way back up this edge so that I only do 6 more. So there we have it. We have 13 single crochets, 12 chain spaces. Then I did a chain 1. We're back here to the join at A, and you work a single crochet into that, chain 1, and now we work just like we did at the beginning. So that was our repeat. Now we work a single crochet in each of these chain spaces. Then we work a single crochet in the join. And then we work our 13 single crochets across here, chain 1s between everything. Go into the next available chain space and work a single crochet. Chain 1, continue across like that till we get to this last chain space here. There's the last single crochet in the last chain space of the full hexagon. Then we're moving to the half hexagon and we have to work across our join. So we reach over and do a single crochet in that chain space that was the join, chain 1, and we're back to our half hexagon, working our way down. You can watch me do one more and then I'll let you go ahead and do it on your own. This should be my 7th. Let's go back and just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It doesn't have to be that way. It just looks more balanced and even if you do the same number on each side of that center. So we started here at the end of our long edge and we worked up what I call the final edge, worked across the first hexagon down here. This is row 9. Then we did row 8's half hexagon. Then we did row 7's full hexagon and then row 6's half hexagon. And we'll continue up until we reach the corner where we started this whole thing and we'll start on our border. And here we have come right back up to the first single crochet that we started this whole join process in. I end with this single crochet. That was the 6th repeat to get me to here. Chain 2, because we're going over a corner, and then slip stitch in that first single crochet. And there you go. You've completed the whole blanket with a join as you go method. Maybe not as hard as you thought. Hopefully you get the hang of that and you can use that for other blankets as well. Now we're not going to cut our yarn because I'm going to continue with a border and I'm just going to do a simple border in the white. So we're going to do 2 rounds. The first round is going to set you up and then the second round will be easy. It'll all be single crochet chain 1s around the entire blanket. So we're going to work this blanket in edges. So it has 4 edges total to get all the way around. So this is the first edge of row 1 of our border. So continuing with our white, we're going to slip stitch in this first chain space from the join as you go round. This gets us set up for our first part. Chain 1 and single crochet in that same chain space. Chain 1. Now we want to single crochet in the next chain space and chain 1, and you want to do that 5 times total. So that was our first one. That's our second one. Third one. Fourth. And our fifth, ending with a chain 1. Now we have a corner chain 2 space, and we're going to work into that. We do a single crochet, chain 1, and a single crochet. That went into our corner and created our corner above it. Chain 1. Now down here, we're going to do single crochet in the chain space and chain 1 6 times, which will take us down to this chain 2 space. At this stage, whenever we reach a repeat section, I'll be skipping ahead since they all follow the same steps. I think you've got the hang of it by now, so we'll speed things up a bit and jump straight to the next part. So far, we've gone up this edge of the hexagon and over the corner with our little single crochet, chain 1, single crochet corner, and then back down the next edge. We're now where we joined our second hexagon. So single crochet in that next chain 2 corner, chain 1, and you're going to skip over to the corner above this one. Okay, so now I see that I've made a mistake here. And this is all the way back to the beginning of the join as you go. So this is funny that I haven't seen it. And I'm going to leave it in because I want to show you how easy it is to make a mistake. And what do? You don't rip it all back out. No one else is going to see it unless you're recording a tutorial in which you have to confess and say, oops, I made a mistake. But otherwise, no one would see your mistakes. They wouldn't even know their mistakes. So don't go and rip everything out if you've done what I've done. I'm going to have to go back and watch the video and see how I made that mistake and didn't catch it the first time. So I did go back to the row 1 video to check, and I did do this part correctly in the video. So no worries there if you're following along. What happened is while making the videos, I do tend to rip things out to take more progress pics and close-up shots, and then I redo the section to get back to the next stage of the tutorial, and sometimes I do this a couple times. So I redid this one after the fact off camera, and that's when I made the mistake on the D section. I didn't come all the way up to the actual corner. This is a good teaching moment on what to do if you make a mistake pretty far back in your work and you want to know, do I rip all of this out? I say no, do not rip it out. Crochet has so much texture and holes already that it really is easy for things to blend in. No one is going to see that mistake except you. Now, if it's a really big mistake and things really aren't working, that's a different story. But for little things like this, I'll show you here how I handle this. Because believe me, it happens a lot more than I let on. So what you want to do here is skip over all of this and go into what would be considered the corner, which is right here. The one that comes across from here. This should create a corner and should be right above this corner. I don't know why it isn't. I'm going to show you on this part how it should work. You would go from this chain 2, which was worked into, to this chain 2. These are the 2 chain 2s you'll be working into. For some reason, I did not join this right. So we're going to flub it. We went into that one, and we're going to go into this one, just so it doesn't leave a gap. That's really the 2 you're supposed to work into. They're just in the wrong place. Okay, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space, and let's work our way up to this corner chain 2. We may end up with an extra stitch here, but that's okay. Who's counting? If it happened anywhere else, you may have to rip out stuff or flub it by working 2 together. But stitch count really doesn't matter. On this simple border, it doesn't really matter, and it's not going to show because everything's in white. So unless somebody's actually trying to count your stitches, which they won't. So we're working our way back up to the chain 2 corner at the top of the hexagon. So I'll do another one of these in full because this one will work. Gotta hate making mistakes when you're doing something on camera. Isn't it great to be human? So we want to work into this chain 2 space a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Now working down the next hexagon, we're going to chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space, chain 1, and continue on until you've done that 6 times. When I get to the bottom, we'll count our stitches so I show you what it's supposed to look like. So I end with a chain 1 there. Let's go back and just count. From the corner, so don't count the corner, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single crochets, and we end with a chain 1. This is what it's supposed to look like when you get down to this join. We work a single crochet into this corner chain space, chain 1, skip over the join and work into this corner chain space, single crochet. And that's what it's supposed to look like. Let's do another one. Chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space, and chain 1 6 times till we get up to this top corner again. End with a chain 1. In the chain 2 at the top, you work single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. And now we're going to go down this edge. Chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space, chain 1. You're going to do that 6 times back down to the next join. There, we've done it 6 times, and we end in this last single crochet before what I call the corner one, which was already worked into at this join. So work our way across this join. We work a single crochet into that chain 2 corner, chain 1, and single crochet in the one across from it, single crochet, and then chain 1, and we start again. We do the repeat all the way up, work into your top corner, and then all the way down and work into the join. You're going to keep on doing that until you end up after the last join. We work up to the top corner, and then I'll meet you here where we're going to work our way and start down the next edge. Let's take another look at how that's supposed to look. We come down one side, and then when you do your 6 repeat, you work into this corner, and then you chain 1 and work into this corner. Single crochet, chain 1, and work your way back up to the next one. So that's what it's supposed to look like. So let's do a little recap here. We started the border here in the first hexagon, went up to our first corner. This is where I say the repeat technically starts, and then you work your way down across the join and back up. That's one full repeat there, and then we do that 4 more times. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the last hexagon of the row, and then I came and down that last edge the exact same way. So I worked in the corner, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then did the 6 repeat down here. And then this last corner here, I did a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then we rotate to work down the next edge. I call this the second edge. So this edge will be simple. I'll just get you started because it's all single crochet, chain 1. We chain 1 to get started, and then we single crochet in the next chain space and chain 1. That's what you're going to do all the way down because we already have them established on the edges of the half hexagon, so that's nice. So you only work into the chain spaces as you go. So let's just go back to here. When I work my way down, I work into the corner and across the join by going into the next corner. So again, these are the 2 spaces. You ignore that join one right there. That's not really a chain space. And that's what you're going to do at every one of the joins. Same idea. You work into the corner one there, and then you skip over to the corner one here, and you just work across. So stitch counts don't matter on this border. You're just trying to make a nice trimmed, equal, balanced edging around it. So don't worry if you kind of mess up on these joins. You end up, maybe you work into them by mistake. Don't worry about it. It's not going to show And what I tell people is if you're going to do that, then just be consistent. Do it all the way around. Consistency is what gives you the balance. So I'm going all the way down. I got 9 rows here, so I got a lot going on. When you come down across, this is row 8, this is row 9, you're going to end right at the straight part. This corner will be the last one you work. Then we're going to work across our third edge, just like we did the first edge. So go ahead and work in every chain space, just like I showed you to across the joins, till you get down to your 9th row and you end at the bottom corner of it. I'll meet you here for the third edge. So you can see here, we went from the full hexagon to the half hexagon, and it just kind of works into this corner and then this corner. And it starts to even out the edging on our half hexagon, full hexagons, which works perfect. Now we've reached the last row here. We end with a single crochet in that last chain space and then a chain 1, and now we're at the corner. We're going to start across our third edge. I'll get you going on this one, but it's exactly like our first edge. So in this final corner at the bottom of row 9, this is actually our last hexagon of the entire blanket as we join them. Single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet in the same chain 2 space. That turns our corner. Next, we'll be working up this edge to this corner. Chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space, chain 1. And do that 6 times until you get to this corner. This is where the repeat starts again, just like on the first edge of this round. So we'll be repeating what I'm going to show you here. You'll repeat it 4 more times after we do this one. Single crochet in this chain 2 space, chain 1, and single crochet again into that corner. Chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space, chain 1, do that 6 times, it'll take you down to here. We end with a chain 1, single crochet in this corner space. I think I've called it a chain 2 space, but it isn't. It's just a corner. It's a chain 1 and then you work again, so it looks like it's chain 2, but it's the corner space, single crochet, chain 1, and single crochet in the corresponding corner across on the next hexagon. Chain 1, and we're going to work our way back up to the top corner. Single crochet in the next chain space and chain 1 6 times. And here we are at the top. This is where the repeat ends and begins again. So we will do exactly what we just did from this corner all the way across to here 4 more times. That will take you to the final hexagon, at which point we're going to work down to here and then up the final edge. So I'll meet you back at this corner. So we're on the last hexagon on this row. It's actually the first hexagon for row 9. And I want to work into the top corner of it. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and then work down the next edge exactly like we have before to this corner. And that's repeating this single crochet, chain 1 6 times. Now we're to this corner, right before the final edge. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in that corner. And we're rotating for our final and 4th edge, which takes us up across the half hexagons again. And we're going to work this exactly how we worked at the second edge. Working into every chain space and going across the joins, just like I showed you before, into this corner and then the corresponding corner across from it. Working all the way up this 4th edge, just like the second edge, until we get back to this first hexagon. We're going to work our way up here, work into this corner the same way, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and slip stitch into the first stitch. I'll meet you back here. So I worked my way all up this 4th edge and I'm right back to hexagon number 1. I end with a chain 1 after working up the 6 stitch repeat. Now I have my chain 2 corner because we started over here I need to work the corner, so single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. And now I can slip stitch into that first single crochet to complete the entire first round. And now we're back up to this first edge. You can end it there if you want to. I do one more round of the white. You could also do it in a different color. But the nice thing about this second round is it's super easy. It's all single crochet, chain 1 all the way around because all the corners have chain 1s in them. Everything's a chain 1. So I won't go over this round all the way around because it's the same thing. So just single crochet, chain 1 in every single space around the entire blanket. Then you slip stitch in this first single crochet and that completes round 2, and that's where I end. And that's it for the Meadow Blossom Hexagon Blanket series. I hope this join as you go method helps you not only finish your Meadow Blossom, but also gives you the confidence to join other hexagon granny blankets. You can take these same techniques and adapt them to any size of hexagon. You just adjust the repeats to match the stitch counts. I love this method because it keeps you in the flow of crocheting, join as you go without all the sewing at the end, so it stays relaxing and enjoyable right to the finish. Thanks so much for stitching along with me through this series. If you'd like to go even deeper into color play and see more behind the scenes of my design process, come visit me over on my Patreon. I'd love to see you there. Until next time, happy crocheting!